Oh, that's so much better. Sorry. It's so annoying. You have in your mind and what you want to do, and then it goes wrong, and then you're like, oh no, I have to delete the damn thing and stop all that. Saying it's not mandatory for people to have a DP to do border control and to stop people from going from getting into the borders, but like I said, I've done the smart house, I've done the smart house, smart mirror. That there's, like I said, there's one movie that actually shows this type of thing already. They always tell you before they do what they're gonna do. It always shows up in movies. I guarantee it. It shows up in movies, and it then later on they bring it forward. Whatever goes on in the movie, most cases, it's gonna happen. Right, the purge, it's gonna happen. Anything like that is going to happen. Now, there's also something else that I wanted to cover as well. There was something that came on the TikTok as well the other day, where they were saying that how the millionaires was paying so they can go and unalive the poor people in Italy, the subway, well, I think it's called, and it's really disgusting that when I saw that was really disgusting. When I heard about them doing that, it was certain things puts me in mind of the purge, certain stuff. Hi Nicole. My stupid phone app goes crazy. Like I don't like doing it from the phone because there's no, you can't share, you can't do nothing, and then I can't make my point. Oh, it's crazy. I mean, I know I got to cover the Jamaican again. I will cover Jamaica again at one point because that is real interesting to me, and because I've got someone over in Jamaica, so it's even more of interest. Now, the ID. I don't know whether you know you have the ID in America where you are in America, the digital ID. I know we all have papers, we all have our birth papers, our passports, the usual stuff. So over here they said that they're gonna make a digital ID situation over here. They were saying that how it's not mandatory, but I feel when they say something's not mandatory, it is mandatory. Secretly, it is mandatory. But obviously, like if you haven't put certain things on, or if you're not taking part in that thing, they will make sure that you do it. You know what I mean? I was literally trying to find out if they will do it by force. You know, because they have to enforce it. Oh yes, I've been watching the Jamaican update since the beginning of the whole. Yeah, I think I'm gonna make this a few things, you know, because like I have homework, but I can do that in a while. Yes, the Jamaican thing is interesting because Bujo, someone just spoke to me. They're saying, "Oh, don't listen to what's going on the ding 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 ding," but to be honest, Bujo called it out. He actually called it out. He actually, you know, nobody else have called out. I mean, fair enough, right? The artist has called out stuff and all what's going on in Jamaica or whatever. When something's off, they will say, innit, right? But when he called it out, I feel that shook up a lot of stuff over there. I don't think it stopped that people from getting relief or whatever they're trying to make it out as. Right? I don't think it's nothing to do with it. I think that how what he's highlighted has been going on for years, but it's like the way how people, I don't know, no, I think everybody is in agreement with it, with what he said. And this Daryl character, the MP, right, he started making excuses. Like, why are you making excuses for? Like, you know what I mean? For even if he sends stuff to Trinidad, my gran used to send stuff to Trinidad, and I can't remember where. She used to send stuff to Trinidad. So what she used to do, what my gran used to do, when she's going to Trinidad, she would take a whole barrel with her. She'll take stuff, food and stuff like that. When we hit the airport, they will go through all your stuff, and if you got food in the case, they will take it out. They will eat it in front of you, all sorts of things. That used to happen to my gran when me and my gran used to travel to Trinidad on a regular basis. So when I hear that, I'm not surprised by it. You know what I mean? I'm not like, wow, like you're not surprised by it because you know these things go on. I think Bujo was right to call it out. I wish others would call it out because I think Sean Penn, I think he had his own fleet taking the food down to them. That's what I feel. Then there was the I don't know whether it was the American, oh, excuse me, it's the tea. I don't know whether it was the American army or the Jamaican army. I think it's the Jamaican army. They landed a little bit away from the people and put the food down. But my friend's saying, "Oh, don't take what you see as thingy." But I just feel sometimes, right? You gotta eat the meat. What's it? Pick the bones out and eat the meat or something like that. I can't remember how the saying goes. Because I feel that how if we know about it from long before, right? Why shouldn't he talk out about it? You know what I mean? I just think it's ridiculous. And in fact, they didn't even really, they should give them a peace prize or something for doing what they're doing to the land of Jamaica. Jamaica still now, there's still water springs springing up in different parts of the country. There's still water springing up. Every time I go and I check it, I go look. Somebody said they find a new spring springing up from the water. I feel the water wants to take over the earth, and the ones living on the mountains, they ain't gonna bother them so much. But the ones who's on the lower part of the mountain, it will bother them. That's how I feel. But you know, that's my opinion. Um, um, yeah. Yeah, it is crazy. It is crazy. But for years they've been doing it because my granny used to pack food. She used to pack food, no, dry food, and she used to take it down. What they didn't have in Trinidad, she used to take with her into Trinidad. She used to make sure she have it, right? And she will have her necessities from here over there. But it's like when you get there, you got to pay. You got right. The cost is a lot. It's a heavy cost. The heavy. I mean, obviously, it's the weight of the case, right? So she'll leave England. It'll be fine. When she gets to the other end, one time we was there and there was an apple. That's it. We had an apple. I remember this like yesterday. We had an apple. I think it was either here or Florida. I don't know where it was. No, Florida or Trinidad. She had an apple in her on her purse somewhere, and the dog sniffed her out, right? But she wasn't carrying nothing. It was just an apple. So anyway, when they took the apple from her, I think they gave it to either to the dog or one of the guards ate it. That's what I remember coming up as a youngster because my granny used to travel a lot. She used to go to Amsterdam, she used to go to France, she used to go to Florida. She used to travel a lot. My grandma was just like that, you know what I mean? She used to work hard and travel a lot. That's how she was. And then she'll come home, she'd have a big massive church because she was a whole big Christian. So um so so she used to travel, then she used to have people traveling to her, you know what I mean? We was constantly in transit all the time. We never really settled until later on. So she was always somewhere. We was always somewhere. We're like nomads. It was always somewhere. Like one year we're here and another 3 years we're somewhere else. So she will travel to and from Trinidad. She'll go to Tobago, should do Thanksgivings, all sorts of things there. Like that's the type of person my gran was, you know what I mean? So I know that I've seen what he's talking about. I've seen that in action as a youth. So it, it doesn't surprise me, you know. And I think even when we did touch down in Florida, I think nothing did happen, but I think it was once again she was carrying something for my uncles or something, and they took it all out. It's just like when you look at border control, it's like that. So when I would look at border control, I always remember that time, that instant. You know what I mean? But yeah, Jamaica. What's going on in Jamaica is I think that is one of the worstest natural disasters I've seen. I mean, I know there's been other disasters. There's been even now there's something that happened in the Philippines. So I'm like, oh wow, like there's definitely something going on, right? And the Leviathan thing, I want to look into that a little more because there is loads of creatures that is impaled into the mountains. They're petrified into the mountains and all that. People's trying to bring back these creatures to life. I'm thinking, why would you bring back a creature to life, a man-eating creature to life? It just makes no sense to me. I don't know. It just doesn't make no sense to me. And it's like it's weird, like so. But yeah, but I know from sorry, I know I go on. But from what I see, what's going on over in Jamaica, the Prime Minister is trying to cover themselves. They're trying to cover their butts. You know what I mean? It's the same in Trinidad as well. They're very, what's the word? Fork tongue. They're very fork tongue. You know what I mean? Like, for years, Trinidad, even in Trinidad, they've been trying to get laws changed, different things changed, the laws of women, things happening. There was a lot of violence in Trinidad as well. Touch wood, nothing hit it or nothing, but it's very the law. What goes on in the West Indies is crazy sometimes, like, but not everybody sees that side because they'll be in Sandals or Hilton Hotel. They won't see that side. They'll be in the hotels. Is when you're going to country or you're going certain parts, you will see and you'll know what's going on. You'll see beggars, you see everything. Some people don't go out because they hear what's going on, or it'll be known as a violent place. But to me, if you're with someone safe and you know who you're with, and that my cousin said to me, one, like, you can't be out late in Trinidad unless you're with somebody. So, and some people, I think someone got unalived. You see some car driving down, you see the person jump out with a tie upon his hand or whatever. So there's still stuff going on, even though there's been a whole disaster. There's still stuff going on over there. Yeah, they tell your tourists not to go too far out because of the possible danger. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So once you know that, that's why I showed a bit of the Trinidadian gangsters. I think I did a little segment on the Trinidadian gangsters, like Dahl and all that stuff. And I remember going down to Trinidad in the coupe. Right, we was in the coupe when I was younger. We went down there, and they had a blackout. The whole of Trinidad was blackout. You see the army in the middle of the thing. It's when you see it coming up, like I said, when you see certain things coming up, it's interesting. That's why I feel I don't want certain things to go back to where it was, because the children are not equipped for that. These children coming up now, they're not equipped for I don't want to say what's coming. They're just not equipped for that, because the people who's grown up in certain places, right? You can kind of, know how to start a fire, you know how to cook on a fire stove. You know what I mean? You kind of have you already have an idea of certain stuff, so you don't want it to go back. Even over here, the racism seems to be going backwards. You're just like, wow, like, I always get pretty mad because like even here, the Windrush have done a lot of stuff. The Windrush generation has done a lot of stuff. They come over. If you watch the movie Black Cake, that Black Cake movie, what's it, program, gives you an idea of what was given to Britain and all sorts. And even them, they're playing around now. But now this ID, the digital ID thing's coming now. They're saying, oh no, it's not mandatory. I feel it is mandatory. They're just saying it's not mandatory because they know people don't want to do the ID. That's why I was curious if they do it in other countries. But I'm reading that it says, oh yeah, right, they're doing America. I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't know that, you know, because I just know it's all about the birth certificate, the papers, the birth certificate. Unless you, I mean, and even if you are sovereign, even if you are sovereign, because some people try to get sovereign papers, but even if you are sovereign, it can kind of overdrive certain stuff, but it can't pardon me, excuse me, this tea. It doesn't over everything else, right? So right now there is levels going on over here, right? Even me, a person who wears a headscarf, I'm getting it because they think I'm Muslim. So it's like you're thinking, wow, like the world's gone backwards. Like I said, well, like I always talk about the story of my gran when she was a nurse and they lift up her dress to see if she had a tail. And she said the doctor did it. She said the doctor did it and one of the patients did it. So me, this time, what is going on now in England, even though it's not unheard of, but it's like they're going back into time. They're literally going back into time. Neo-Nazis, all this stuff going on. Even though, like, yes, yes, there are groups like that. Yeah, we know there's groups like that. But the way how it's going on, they always talk about the George Orwell story, the George Orwell movie, where like it's gonna be like that, where there's a dictator and he's gonna be saying and doing certain stuff. I believe what is going on in America right now, there is a dictator there. But what he's doing, he's trying to get rid of. I know I'm jumping, keep up with me. I talk all over the place. He is like a dictator because what he's doing, he's trying to wipe away all the work what the melanated people, black people, whatever you want to call yourself, have done. And some of them being the Britannia, the soldiers, the ladies, the women, the Tuscany, what's it, soldiers is all getting swept. And I feel that them over here, these lot over here want to do it here too. But it's a lot bigger picture. The picture's bigger than us. Yeah, it's a lot bigger than us because the world is at its most frigid now. There's children coming up now. There's just the other day my neighbor had a new baby. There's children coming up now, and they're going to get all that. They're going to get all that later on. I'm always scared for the children, my children in general, because it goes across the board, right? Because the way how the people's done it, right? What tends to happen, okay, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, Nicole. What tends to happen, they put out something, which is what I think they're doing now. It's propaganda. Yes, some of it's true, yes. The other day, one sub came and was telling me about the grooming gangs. Now, I've always said a PDOF can look like anybody. I've always said that because I've seen all the stories that it can look anyhow, right? On my other channel, you see PDOFs, they look anyhow, right? But what they're doing, they're saying, oh yeah, right, it's Asian groups, it's Asian gangs, and da 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 da. Yes, there is Asian grooming gangs. Yes, I'm not determined that is not true, but there's also white grooming gangs, black grooming. You know, it goes across the board, right? There's even been cases of when some women was brought over here, the human trafficking part of it, right? In Nigeria, what they would do, right? They would say to them, "I'm going to take your daughter to another country." Right, I'm going to take her to another country. So the people, the mums will say, okay, oh, my daughter's going to learn, and da, 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 da. When they come over here, they literally turn into slaves, house slaves, whatever, sex slaves, whatever you want to, you know what I mean? So there's all that element, right? So that's where it's a lot bigger than us, right? Because like they found people on children on the ground and stuff like that. Um, there's loads of. Sometimes the stories are so crazy, I can't even fathom how to put it on my channel, right? Because they're so descriptive in what happened to that child. You don't want to put that all on the thing. That's why when I did about the one the other day, I can't remember what one it was. It was so descriptive. I had to literally pass over it because they're reliving that. I think it was Miss Fabulous. That's it, Miss Fabulous. People who are survivors of abuse, they relive that. That's why I was very, very, very concerned for for my Jazzy Life children, in one sense, because you can relive it in different ways. Little things can trigger you. So when Ali came out, I forgot her name. Ali came out, I forgot her name. When she came out and she said she was a human trafficking survivor, I was like, yes. But then later on, I see even she was scamming. She's making money off of somebody. Seems like somebody else's story. It's not right. There are people who's there to distract and take people off and take you off of what's going on. Yes, when we're in the matrix, there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. Even I get lost in the matrix sometimes. I get lost. I'll be on my phone. I'll be on this device, that device. I'll be like this. But what happens is sometimes, like me and my daughter was talking the other day, there is a distraction. It distracts you. The hotels over here was a distraction because they want to put in laws. They want to do this. They want to do that. They want to enslave the people. Now the people, because they see color, oh, I see you, you're that color, oh, this, that. Even today, I was on TikTok and there's a guy, and he's chained up to a piece of wood. He's dressed in black. I think he's a black man. I'm not sure. And he's got his arms. I was like, what is going on? I'm thinking to myself, they want an antebellum. They want like the film The Antebellum, when that singer, when she gets kidnapped and then they put her into that situation as a slave. That's what is going on, right? Nobody should be slaves to anybody. Everybody should be a free person. I used to play a song called A Free Man. When you are free, when your mind is free and you are free as a person, right? You should not be bound to anybody, right? You're not bound to anybody. Yes, you can be someone's friend, you can be this, you can be that, you can be that. You're not bound to nobody. And if somebody has you bounded, there is a problem with that. But that's how I look at it anyway. I know I go on. Okay. Oops. Is it not working? Oh, my thing stopped. Hold on. Yeah. Oh, really? In England, right? Yes, England's doing some crazy things right now. Yeah, they all come from all different races. Yeah, pedophiles come from all different races. But what happened? Like, as I said, they'll throw out a propaganda thing, right? We always hear about propaganda. This is what's happening now. Our devices are places where propaganda is always harvested. It's there, right? Because everybody's on their device, everybody's got a TV, all that stuff. So they will put it out there. oh, those people, they're this, the next person. Yes, there is bad, there's good and bad in every nation. There's good and bad in every nation. And my only thing is with the immigrants where dislike is that how they will say, oh, they're women. And then they come over, then they go where they're going, and it's all men. When it's women supposed to be getting salvation, getting help. So that's where all of the what you call it, lost in translation goes. Lost in understanding translation, because they're taking advantage of something that should be help to someone who's coming from a war-torn country, like right now, Palestine, certain places, in South Africa. What's going on in South Africa? There's a lot going on in South Africa. South Africa right now, the women is speaking. The women is making us. There is the everywhere, right? We know that happens. They're making a stand, right? So, and the thing is called Women for Change. They're making a stand because people believe in all sorts of things. They believe in all sorts of weird stuff. I can't even list half of it right now. I would have to make a whole live on just stigmas and things like that. But when you talk to the people themselves who come from the country, they will say, yes, my country is bad and this is going on, that and that is going on. You know what I mean? You know, people, there is division going on. What's happening amongst, in particularly the Black people, us as a people, or people, if you want to say us as a people, was too divided. There's too much division. Oh, I'm Aboriginal Indian. I'm this. Oh, I'm not African. I'm not that. It's nothing to do with that, because when a policeman see you and you wanna cap you, he ain't gonna ask you, are you Aboriginal? Are you this? Are you that? He's just gonna cap you. He can cuff you. He can put charges on you. He don't care. Yes, there is, right? But there's good and bad in all nations. The worst ones is the ones who unalive people for pleasure, and they get pleasure out of it. Crazy work. But yeah, let me see. Let me rename the live. Right, it's crazy. Right, so you know, it's left to the people who want to make changes to make changes, isn't it? I mean, you can be you can be a problem, in it, but you know, but I'm gonna see if I can. My thing plays up. See, if I dip out, it's my thing playing up. Let me see if I can share. If I can't share it, I'll just do audio. Let me see if I can share it. Hopefully it ain't gonna dip out.
In the UK, a compulsory digital ID. Now, rights activists are calling it a dangerous step towards mass surveillance. Supporters are calling it a leap to a more effective.
On the 26th of September, British Prime Minister Keir Starmer announced the introduction of compulsory digital ID cards for people who work in the UK.
Today, I am announcing this government will make a new free of charge digital ID mandatory for the right to work by the end of this Parliament. Let me spell that out. You will not be able to work in the United Kingdom if you do not have digital ID. It's as simple as that.
The new digital ID scheme is aimed towards stopping illegal workers in the shadow economy, while also ensuring fairness in the immigration system. The government says the digital ID will be stored on mobile phones and will become a mandatory part of employer checks when hiring staff. Over time, the digital ID scheme could also expand to childcare, welfare, tax records, and other public services. Now, let us first understand what exactly is a digital ID. A digital ID is a form of electronic identification, usually stored on a phone or card. Online. It works by linking your personal details like your name, age, and address to a verified digital profile, often backed by biometric data such as fingerprints, iris scans, or facial recognition. A digital ID can be used to access government services, healthcare, education, banking, and even voting in some countries. Supporters argue that a digital ID makes life simpler, offering one login for multiple services, faster benefits, and less paperwork. They also point out that it could reduce fraud by making it harder to fake identities. But critics, including civil liberty groups, warn of risks to privacy, government misuse, and the potential for mass surveillance. According to an Ipsos poll in July, 57% of Britons support a national ID scheme. But about 3 in 10 are worried about personal data being misused, sold to private companies, or stolen in security breaches.
We all need to do whatever we can to support the government to manage immigration, and identity cards are a way of doing that.
I just don't see the point of not having them, because we have ID all the time with, driving licenses, often carry our passports around. So, yeah, I don't have a problem with them.
I think it puts emphasis on the experience of kind of asylum seekers and immigrants and migrants to this country, when often they're just trying to live life and do things and get on like we all are. So
yeah, I think it comes with a huge number of pitfalls. I think it needs to be looked at very, very carefully, because I think there are huge implications. I think there are particular bonuses to it, but I think there are huge implications ethically as well.
The digital ID scheme is expected to come into effect right before the next UK election, which is due in 2029. As the UK gears up to make digital IDs mandatory for all UK citizens across the globe, similar schemes already exist. India operates the world's largest digital ID program called Aadhaar. Launched in 2009, Aadhaar assigns every resident a unique 12-digit number linked to their biometric data such as fingerprints, iris scans, and a photograph. As of 2025, more than 1.3 billion people have been issued an Aadhaar number, making it the most extensive digital identification system on the planet. And just last month, Switzerland approved a plan to introduce voluntary digital ID scheme. Other countries, including France, Germany, Italy, Spain, Denmark, Australia, and Singapore, also run nationwide digital ID schemes. Britain's plan places it among a growing list of nations betting on digital IDs as the backbone of modern governance. However, the road ahead will not be an easy one. If concerns over privacy and surveillance aren't addressed, the plan could, in fact, face resistance before it even gets off the ground.
Yeah, they say it's going to be easy, but data's already been sold to other places, third parties already, through the thing on the computer, the cookies and all that stuff. it gets this third party thing as well. So like they talk about the biometrics, the thumbprint, the face recognition, those things, you know, I mean, like if you watch things like Mission Impossible, those things can actually be easily that can easily be override. Like they can pretend to be you. Even in Billionaire Bunker, they show how easy a person can imitate a person's voice, face, fingerprint, all them stuff. I really believe that when they, like I said, in some programs, movies particularly, movies is the biggest telltale sign, right? As well, also in real life, because we hear about these things happening in real life, right? They will sell it to the highest bidder. Data is sold to the highest bidder because that's why, right? You get things on your email that is sent. I think I even got one the other day, and when I went there, luckily my virus stopped it, right? They will send something that will look like a real website onto your email. What they are going to do, they're going to make it even easier for people to get your identity, but they're not thinking wisely, like, you know what I mean? There's no thought into it. Yes, fair enough, right? It can possibly work, but at what cost? You know what I mean? So I'm looking at it like from that point of view. Oh yeah, and right, we're gonna also go back to Buju Banton. It's not even a drama. He just spoke truths anyway. I don't see nothing wrong in what he had to say. I don't see nothing wrong Buju Banton had to say regarding the barrels. So I'm gonna try and go back to that as well. I'm gonna show a little bit of that. Let me see if I can find the one. Oh, there's a recent one. Oh yeah, this is the one I got too. The guy is faced, you know. Hold on. We're gonna go back to the Buju Banton something as well, because I'm gonna add this to this as well. There's quite a few things I want to add. I want to put on this, but I don't want to go crazy, see, because I'll go crazy for little things.
Oh, you and me know one another a long time. Thank you for all the efforts for the relief for Hurricane Melissa for the people of Jamaica. But if you have an issue, you can reach me. Give me the information and let me investigate it. To go public on social media and bring the effort into disrepute is not helping anybody. Give me the details, give me the specifics, and let me deal with it. But I don't rate how you handle it. So, Virgin, do better than that, man. We have had over 300 and odd relief cargo flights landing in Jamaica from Melissa, and I have never received one complaint from any of the international organizations and charities, much less the governments of other countries. Through Minister Grange, your handlers of the flights were in touch with me from yesterday morning all day until they got through. So I'm not understanding what this is about. Buju, hear me now. You and me know one another a long time. Thank you for...
Man's rude. I'm sorry. He's rude. Daryl is rude. He's very rude. I know I'm jumping, yeah? Daryl's very rude. I did put Bujo's reply to him after he did this, right? So if the stuff was all packed, from what I seen of the picture, there was packed, parcel wrapped and everything else. Why in the picture that Bujo put up was one. There was like less in the barrel. Like the barrel was searched through, and people took things out. Right? He hasn't stopped the people from getting what they want. He just called out what it is. Okay, I know I said it earlier. I repeat myself. Yes, I do. But you're just calling out what is what. You know what I mean? I don't see the problem. I don't see. I feel that you can rectify that. You should have done that a little more dignified. You don't have to say, "Oh, me and you brethren," and blah 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 blah. That ain't got nothing to do, neither here nor there. You know what I mean? That ain't got nothing to do with anything. You know what I mean? That's just you trying to, like I said, damage control, make excuses for the people. Then what you need to do, what you should have done is you should have gone and investigate and find out who was where they was when that set of stuff come in. Right? You should have investigated it, find out who was working that time. When you find out who was working that time, you have to reprimand them accordingly to what was lost, stolen. However, it's not for the pickings and all that stuff. Like, it's kind of out of order that they would do that, considering that the people of Jamaica need the stuff that is coming to them. It ain't about whatever. So this man is rude, feisty. I can't think of the other words right now. You know me, I can never think of words right now. He's rude and feisty and out of order. You know, like you're shaming up your own self. You're making yourself look stupid. There's another thing I wanted to cover. Oh yeah, I put up here too, same time. Well done. I'm going through this real quick. Well, they might be in South African. Okay. It's funny when they play reggae on certain places. It's so funny. Okay. Right. As you know, I put up a purple avatar of a woman in the purple avatar. This was an indication of Women for Change avatar, women who's getting violence against them done in South Africa. Now, you can be across any country and you can still kind of show a little solidarity for certain stuff that is concerning people, vulnerable people, anybody. That is a sign that how you are showing some sort of reach out or helping, I don't know, making things aware. Like I said, I have spoken about abuse in the past and DV and certain stuff. So I saw this the other day and I decided to do my avatar in that way to represent what was going on. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to play, I don't even know, I think these are the men that's moaning basically, but I'm hoping they're with the women. I'm hoping it's in English. If it's not in English, I'll just look for the English speaker one. Hold on.
And this comment was made by Somizi, who would post a video only a few hours ago where he would, number one, express his solidarity, the women shutdown that's going to be happening, but he would also talk about the fact that women are their own worst enemy when it comes to coming together as one.
I've only caught up now to the profile picture thingy, the people profile picture stuff, you know, and I will still remind you guys, Ugut, women, you are your own worst enemy. Please make it make sense. Please make it makes sense. Why should there be any woman who is against this? Never mind us. Tina would understand, not even understand, we would understand if there are men who don't support this purple profile picture, because the reason why there's this shutdown on the 21st of November and asking everyone to change their profile picture in solidarity to the GBV and etc. and femicide and Dundun is because of men, some men. But for women, to have women in this platform saying it's too performative, it's dun. Nkosi yami, sikelela amakhosikazi ase South Africa. Women, you are your own worst enemies. Stop it.
Y'all aren't really hearing Somizi out. Urenkuna really is male-centered, and her apology gaining 1,400 likes. And many of you might be asking yourselves what would prompt Somizi to make such a video. Well, a very popular TikToker whose name is Reinkuna on TikTok would post a very critical video regarding the decision a lot of women in South Africa have decided to take to change their profile photos purple in solidarity with the women's shutdown that is set to be happening on Friday, the 21st of November. You see, for a little bit of context, Urain is quite a controversial TikToker because a lot of the times she just speaks what's on her mind. And a lot of her audience actually loves her with these takes because they see them as nothing but refreshing. Because a lot of the times she says the quiet part out loud and she's absolutely unashamed to do so. However, in early November 2025, South Africa would actually start witnessing a surge in activism against gender-based violence and also femicide. And this would obviously culminate in a planned nationwide shutdown that was organized by civil society groups, Women for Change.
On the 21st of November, we are all, as women, going to wear all black. And we're going to turn our profile pictures, TikTok, WhatsApp, Instagram profile picture, purple. Okay, go onto Pinterest and just search purple. Put purple on your profile picture. We're going to be protesting, marching, or showing up for all the women that have been raped, have been assaulted, have been victims.
My thing is, like, if it's against abuse and certain stuff, right, then it makes sense to that she's doing this. I am not a feminist one. I love my man. I love males. I love men. But some of the acts that he's done towards women, children, etc., I disagree with. So on that side of things, yes, I would agree with what is being said. However, it should be more worldwide, but not as a feminism situation, but to make a stand on vulnerable people, on people who go through this, yeah? Because even some males do get raped too. So you have to put it all in perspective. Yes, there is such thing as a gender-based violence. Yes, there is. That's why I put up the little poster on the post, because yes, it was women a lot at one time. Now, Africa, children, very young, essays happen, and I'm not going to even go into detail because it would not be fair if I spoke about it in such a way, right? So when they're saying they're shutting it down or whatever, and they're making a stand, yes, they are making a stand, and there's nothing wrong with that. Now, if you can make a stand about other things as well, that would be even greater to me, because I, for one, will definitely join in those sort of stuff. Now, let me see if I could make it play a little more.
Of any type of abuse at the hands of a man. Enough is enough. enough is enough, genoeg is genoeg, it's enough.
And this movement would go absolutely viral, with people jumping on the trend and deciding to stand in solidarity with this movement by changing their profile photos to purple. And that's the reason why if you scroll on any social media platform, especially in South Africa, you will notice that a lot of big influencers and a lot of content creators have decided to make their profile photos purple. And a lot of people were in support of this movement. However, Ure would post a video that has now been taken down where she says some unfavorable things about the changing of profile photos, and she would absolutely be dragged online for her views.
Online activism doesn't work on me. I'm not going to change my profile picture to purple because a bunch of performative keyboard warriors are trying to shame me into doing so. If you
It's not by force. It's not by force. Nothing is done online is done by force. It's all left to you. Yes, there is people who follow it or whatever. If, like I said, if it's for a good reason, fair enough. It's for other reasons, well, that's different, though. That's a whole different thing. And they're not only doing it online, they're doing it in the physical as well. Because, so to me, everybody has a choice. No one's forcing you to do anything. No one's forcing you to do everything. It's not by force, okay? So when you're talking like that, right, I'm sure not everybody has done it. Right, the ones who've done it and decided to do it is by their own, because they went to find out why is it purple, what's the reason behind it. There was even a young girl that got great, I can't say her name, and they showed videos of women that have been unalived. Great. I think there was a boy in one of those pictures, I think, but yeah, there's many girls, but we know boys go through it too. So I understand that completely. So I will partake in it. But as I'm not saying I'm no feminist. Okay, it's not about feminism. It's just looking at the bigger picture and how things can change for others, even if we're not in the same place, the same country. It doesn't mean to say I can't do my little bit, let people know on my subs, my wherever I am, that how this is going on and that people is doing it. Okay, so it's just like everything else. Yeah, it ain't nothing new.
If you wanted to make a real change, you would. Join the virtual walk. Check for more info on the Women for Change website. Go run a marathon. Find your nearest NPO, NGO. Matter of fact, just name 5. I bet you don't know. What have you done besides change your profile picture to purple? Where were you when I released an article about this last week? I had a whole campaign designed. Please, I make real change.
Renkuna has been this way. I'm just not surprised. I had to quickly unfollow her. Kiskaila Ngwano gaining 4,800 likes. And an interesting comment saying, the more purple profile pictures equals visibility. Visibility fuels awareness. Awareness fuels conversation, and conversation fuels action. Thanks so much, Ray. It seems as though many people online were very disappointed in Ray's take on this matter.
Maturing is realizing that Ray Nkuna is actually male-centered, and she does not even advocate for women whatsoever, because she claims to advocate for women, and when women finally stand up all together massively as a unit, she calls them performative, and then she says that she makes the real change. She's male-centered. Her page revolves around men. She's male-centered. Like, male-centered is not only women that love men, it's sometimes also women that hate men. You love them so much you hate them.
So Ray Nkuna has been getting dragged, and I believe you guys know why she posted that video saying. But then about 3 hours ago, she posted an apology video. And I'm like, you were speaking with so much conviction. Stand on business, not step on business. Because I'm conflicted as to whether that apology is genuine or just her trying to get people off her back.
However, other people would dig in her past and find that, well, this isn't the first time Ray has been critical of women in South Africa.
The reason why I don't care about women suffering anymore is that women will knowingly date a rapist or a man that victimizes women. And if you let her know about her man's transgressions, she'll turn a blind eye. And influencers, celebs,
And if they're like that, then you just leave them where they're at, innit? Gosh. I used to talk about Velvet Mark. Oh, sorry about that. Sorry. It's gone into 1 hour now. Oh, wow. Okay. Let me just play this then. Hold on, let me play.
You guys are a lot. Libaba and Chishem, I feel nothing for you guys. Next.
With one comment on her old videos now becoming
Hey, quick question. Have you ever applied for legal aid since 2007? Because you might want to actually hear this. In May, the Ministry of Justice confirmed a huge cyber attack on the legal aid agency.
signs were always there. We see now gaining almost 1,200 likes. However, quite surprisingly, Ray wasn't alone in this sentiment, because another TikToker whose name is Mohale would also express his frustration with only changing her profile photos purple but not really doing anything in order to effect change for women in South Africa.
I'm sorry, but someone has to say this. I'm not gonna keep quiet. There's certain things that I don't like about the Women for Change protest. First of all, I support it and I stand for it. But as a person, you can also have your opinion on it and be like, like, first of all, the purple profile pictures. That was a smart idea. It brought so much awareness, and I love that. Cool. But we can all agree that that can't be it, right? That can't be the only thing. Then y'all ladies responded and said, "Oh no, but we're gonna dress in black on a specific day." Okay, that sounds like y'all cooking. Y'all kind of cooking something. I see. Okay, what else? Then we're gonna be laying on the floor for 15 minutes. Huh? Then you expect change. That's where you lost.
Now, quite shockingly, Mohale wouldn't receive as much backlash as Ray would for her video, but there would still be people in his comment section who would ask then for solutions if them making their profile pictures purple wasn't really the answer, with one comment saying, "I hear you. Now give us a solution. You can't point out a problem and not come up with a solution for it," gaining 3,248 likes. But even another comment saying, "You do have a point." And to be quite honest, I think the reason why Mohale's video was accepted a bit better than Ray's video is all because of tone. You see, Ray's tone in her video was very blunt and painfully honest, which many people could misconstrue as her being demeaning towards what the movement stands for and people changing their profile pictures to purple. You see, the truth of the matter is, a lot of the times it's not what you say, but how you say it. Because I'm of the opinion that Ray did genuinely have a point, but the way she addressed her point made a lot of people get defensive because of how blunt and harsh she was. And now, unfortunately, your intention means nothing because your core message wasn't received well. And nothing expresses this more than Mohale's next video, where he would actually defend Ray and provide some context to what she was saying.
I'm sorry, but I stand with what Ray said. Hear me out. Not in the way you're thinking. In the sense that Raya was basically saying is that she stands with the agenda that you guys are pushing, but she doesn't stand with the way y'all are pushing the agenda. Are you hearing me? She supports the movement, but she doesn't support the way you guys are pushing the movement. She's basically asking for more. And I totally agree. Cause sure, people can change their profile pictures, turn them purple and all that stuff. Sure, y'all can do that, but what else can you do? You can't just do that alone with no marches, no.
That's true, and I am gonna go look at the website. So anybody who wants to get involved with the Women for Change, you don't have to be no feminist. The whole the whole idea of the thing, for what my understanding is, right, is this. Is that how, right? There's been a lot of gender violence that does go on in South Africa, and it's on a worldwide basis, and that how people are trying to make changes through the what you call it, the platforms, by turning the thing purple or by doing it on the physical. Some people are armchair revolutionists. Some people are physical revolutionists. Some people are frontline revolutionists. You could do it any which way, as long as you spread an awareness and you let the people know what is going on. The whole idea of how we have in our platforms is to project and make people aware of stuff that is going on, that is affecting others, that is bringing up issues concerning our liberty and all that. Everybody, from what I know from doing my recent stuff, that how you have a right, everybody have a human right. Some people should not be abused, or vulnerable people should not be put into situations where they don't need to be, whether it's through traditions, culture, or whatever, because there is some traditional stuff that is a bit wrong. So that is one of the reasons why people are making changes by putting changing the avatar to purple, because like I said, it could be done in any which way. Okay, and there are various revolutionists. Okay, a revolutionist sometimes is something that is a silent thing that is done, but everybody do things in one accord. It doesn't necessarily mean that it can be the loudest noise, and it can be the softest noise, but everybody gets the whole memo and they all follow through and they do it. Sorry, I talked a bit fast.
No fundraisers, no something, and expect better results than people who have been fighting for this agenda for years.
With the comments in this video also echoing the sentiment, with one comment saying even an abuser can have a purple profile, gaining 2,300 likes. It looks like a trend more than a protest. I agree, or maybe you explained it better and that's why she's misunderstood. You see, the ultimate truth of the matter is a lot of this bickering is actually overshadowing what this movement represents in the first place. And I do think that, just like what Somizi said, sometimes
Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to go straight to the website myself, because which I did do before I even made my thing purple. Okay, let's see. All right, so let me share the screen, because I went and I looked it up first before I even took part in it. Okay. Okay, let me see. So this is the Women for Change shutdown, G20 shutdown. Let me see. So Women for Change voices in fighting against gender-based violence and femicide, found in 2016. We use the power of social media to raise awareness and support survivors and drive real change. See, that's what I'm saying. See, with an online of 520,000 or 40,000 million monthly impressions, WCF is trusted movement when survivors find support, share their stories, demand justice through relevance, advocacy, public engagement. WFC continues to be leading the force in the fight against GBV in South Africa. We envision a South Africa where every woman and child can live free from violence and are empowered by dignity and equality and freedom. A world where the words Me Too, well, I'm not even for the Me Too movement, to be honest, are no longer necessary. I even know about the Me Too one too. I heard stories about them. So this was one of the demonstrations that they did. Okay. All right. I'm going to press it.
We are emotional because we are human. We are emotional because our lives are on the line. We are speaking for women who have died with bruises on their bodies and fear in their eyes. We are speaking for children who have watched their mothers being beaten. We are speaking for girls who never made it home.
I'm here today for all of us. I'm here to stand in the gap for anyone with a story, big or small, anyone who has been dishonored or who has anyone violate them. We are here and we see you. Because when we come together, we can do anything. A powerful woman who survives can do anything. She can end up standing in front of the union buildings saying she's not okay with the state of the country and that we need you to see us, Mr. President. But most importantly, we need you to keep us safe. Please heed our call for no bail, no parole, because you have the power to save our lives.
Okay, so in this one particularly, they used a unburied casket as a symbolism as well. So last year, that is such a 578 women, 1,000 women were murdered in South Africa. The 33.8% raise in femicides. To make the number impossible to ignore, we built a casket 33.8% larger than standard, adorned with thousands of hand-woven Zulu beads. Each purple bead representing a life stolen, crafted by women for women, using traditional symbols of strength and resilience. The casket holds the faces of some of the sisters who we lost. It was carried through Pretoria to the Union Building and handed over to the presidency alongside 152,000 signatures demanded gender-based female femicide declared a national disaster. So they declared it a national disaster, so it's a lot. There's one that I saw as well. Okay, now remember, I said sharing some stories is hard to listen to. Okay? So this is why I thought, okay, this is real. They're actually making a stand on something. Right? So this lady, this person has told her story.
What to do after being raped, a guide for survivors.
Okay, so this is telling them what to do after being raped and stuff. So, find support, go to a safe place, talk to someone you trust, etc., etc. So they declared it a national disaster. Hold on. I've got to find another bit to it. There's another bit where they're carrying the casket to Pretoria. To find it. Let me see if I can find it. I don't think I can find it. And this is this lady that I showed. Is it gonna stop it? No. Okay. Cool. Let me share her.
why I post the content that I do? I'm going to tell you. You see, renowned South African organization Women for Change, yes, them, are the reason behind the movement that you're witnessing right now. On Friday, the 21st of November, they are calling for a silencing of the nation, just ahead of the G20 summit commencing. Because here are the facts. There is a war against women. And despite consistent promises by our government and our president, no tangible action has yet occurred. So once again, we are trying to make our voices heard. Here's how you can participate. You can do one or more if you want of the following, and you can find all these resources on the Women for Change social media accounts too. I would also highly implore you to please sign the official Women for Change petition. I've also linked it in my profile if you're struggling to find it. And as for the comments I've seen on some people's videos asking what is the point of lying down at 12 p.m. for 15 minutes? Well, besides highlighting the fact that every single day in South Africa, 15 women lose their lives, it's to honor them. It's about each and every single one of them. It's about actively thinking, remembering, and paying homage to those who are no longer with us. Ultimately, November 21st is not about big marches, but it's about mindful action and solidarity. It's about sending a message and making the plight that we as women in South Africa face every single day impossible to ignore. It's about reminding our president and those in charge that a country without its women would simply not be the same. If you would like to change your profile picture, you can screenshot the purple block now. Please help share this message. Leave your support in the comments. Let's unite and help showcase that this movement is not performative activism. It's the start of a new revolution. Until the next one, stay strong, stay brave. Bella out. So you may be asking yourself, why the heck?
That's what I'm saying. Activism can be in any which way, anyhow, whatever. There's loads of different ways to be a revolutionist without even your say. But the ones who wish to stand on the front line, they will go out and they will protest physically. Right, but when you spread awareness, it's a whole nother level, because you're spreading awareness, you let people know what is going on. Every time I put on something to do with either my abuse, not my abuse, but abuse, whatever, that is spreading awareness. That's letting people know what's going on, because not everybody will know about that. So, like with this, in this case, South Africa carries a heavy set of cases with grapes of all sorts. Like I said, I can't even sit here and list it right now. The most recent one was a young lady that got raped, and I think they unalived her as well at the same time. I think that was last month, a couple months ago. I can't pronounce her name. She was right. I feel this is one of the reasons why, they made themselves more visible, the Women for Change. And to me, yes, it is optional. If you want to be purple, if you want to put a purple avatar, you can do it. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. No one's forcing you to do anything you don't want to do. Okay? There's free thinking. As much as people's trying to make everybody robots, clones, however, it's a free world, right? As far as we know, okay? So what these women are trying to achieve, like she said, they're going to lie down for 50 minutes, whatever. That, I would say, is a physical act of activism, because she said they are lying down for how many women that has been unalived and whatever else, or whatever's happened to them. So I don't see nothing wrong in it. I don't see what is the problem. The first thing is, right, if you do see people and they're doing something and they change and they say to change your profile, you find out why, what's behind it, in case you're signing yourself up for something else and what it is. Because to me, when I find out something is not what it is, what do? I bring it and I say, look, right, I thought ABC, where was what, like the Ali, what's her name? I forgot her name. Ali, the one who says she's Tupac's daughter, or was saying that at one point. And then later on, when I saw how she moved, and how she behaved, right, I knew there was something up, and I decided to take away my videos. I have Ali Carter. I have 1 or 2 videos of her still up, yes, but at the same time, because I know she's not who she says she is, I would not participate in her foolishness. So I have put videos forward. There's others as well. There's put videos forward of her about her. Well, you know, I don't go in that deep. I don't say, oh, I'm gonna go expose this one, blah blah blah. I'll go, I'll see something and I'll look and I'll check it out and I'll think, I don't know, I'm not too sure about that one, or whatever, and then I'll just take it from there. Because at the end of the day, what you're doing, you're distracting from the real thing that is going on, right? And there is a lot of distractions, right? So against either the human trafficking thingy, right? Sound of Freedom was one of them movies that if you sit down, it makes you cry. But the guy who they say that is they are portrayed, he really do this for real. He goes out and he gets the children from human trafficking situations. He also tried to bring a law in to stop it. So when you are either, as my brethren used to say, when you're watching something, you have to be mindful that how some stories are real or some stories are not. Now, one of my subbies really, when he told me about it, I didn't know about Sound of Freedom. I just saw loads of clips. I literally, when it dropped properly, I went and I watched it. Now, Sound of Freedom is not for the faint-hearted, because you would want to go into the screen and you want to hurt somebody. Okay, that's how deep it is. And that's how I feel that how with these women with the purple thing, it's the same thing. They're trying to make changes in their country. You can make changes anyway. It's just a little simple act. It don't even take long. Yes, some of the abusers can possibly do a purple one too, but it's left for you to like determine what. And it's what comes out of a person's mouth as well. Say, okay, well, that one, no, I'm not too sure, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, they are right. The abusers can also come off as with the purple avatar as well. So, to me, yes, it is spreading awareness and whatever. I don't know how they're going to stop the abusers from not doing the purple avatar. I don't think you can stop that. But the most you can do is report, block, whatever. I think that's the best way to do it. But yes, people, I'm going to leave it here because it's been an hour. And I'm going to see you in the next one. I'm hoping this will carry on working perfectly because, you know, sometimes my thing buffs, it does all sorts of craziness. But thank you. So Amma and Nicole. Oh, come on, go up. No, it's not coming up. Oh, let me see if I can move it.